Hello geometry students, today we are going to do problems from section 11.7, surface area and volumes of cones. This is on page number 347 to 348. This is from Big Idea Student Journal Geometry, and let's move to very first problem. So we're starting with the problem number 1, and it's about surface area of right cone. So even we start the surface area, let's recall the formula we learned in the last section. That was surface area is what? Pi r square, the base area plus the lateral area, that's pi r l. L is the slant height. So you need to know all these things. So when I look at the figure 1, I know this is r. Let me write down r here. This is r, this is l, and this is h. So here looks like we don't need h, we just need r and l. So let's plug it in. S is pi r square plus pi r l. So let's do that. Pi r is 3 square plus pi times 3 times l is your lateral your height, the one which is slant one. Keep in mind, for surface area we need this one. You're not supposed to take height, so you have to be super careful with this thing. You have to take this one. And now after this, it's all about plugging in the calculator. Please don't round anything in between, just leave as it is everything, and then use the calculator. Once you plug in the expression in the calculator and round to the nearest tenth, your answer is 75.4 centimeter. What should be the unit? It's about surface area. It's area, so it's supposed to be square. That's your answer. All right, let's move to the next problem. Now it has so first problem they gave you picture, second problem they gave you a description. So whenever it happens, I suggest you to draw a picture so that it's convenient for you. So if I draw it here, they're talking about right circular cone. So that's a right circular cone, and it has a diameter. They tell you the diameter is 1.8. That's 1.8. Sorry, it is 1.8. The diameter is 1.8, and the height is 3 inches. So this height is 3 inches. And what we're supposed to find? We're supposed to find the surface area. So we need what? We need the same formula here on top. I need r and l. So when I just look at r means I just need to know how much is that. I have been given diameter, that's d. I need to get r. R is always half of that. So if I'm just trying to find r is d over 2, that's what? 1.8 over 2, that's 0.9 inches. So now I know this is 0.9 inches. I can use that. But like in previous problem, we had been given L, the slant height. I don't know. But now when I see it looks like a right triangle, I could use the Pythagorean theorem here. And I know if I assume it to be L, so L square is what? 3 square plus 0.9 square. We applied the hypotenuse square of sum of the square of its legs. The square of hypotenuse is the sum of the square of its legs. And when I just plug it in and solve it, so L is going to be square root of 9.81. I'm not going to solve it right away because it will approximate the value. I'm just taking the expression as it is and will be plugging it in. That's 9.81. So let's move to the other part here. Now we have to find the surface area. So surface area, I know that's pi r square plus pi r l. Let's plug it in. Pi r is 0.9 square plus pi r is 0.9. Now our l is square root of 9.81. Now after this, it's all about using the calculator correctly. Sometimes you have to be super careful so that expression is entered correctly, and once you solve it, your answer is going to be 11.4 at something 00. So when you round to the nearest 10, it's going to be 11.4 inches square. So that's your answer. Alright, I hope you get it. Let's move to the next problem. When we move to the next problem, that is, now first and second we were finding out the surface area. Now we're going to do volume problems here for cone. And the cone volumes, for the cone, it was, we remember the volume formula was, we needed 3 cones to fill the cylinder, so it was pi r square h over 3. Alright, I need radius and I need height, nothing else I just need these two, radius and height. So when I look at the question, I see radius is given and then height is also given. It's a perpendicular height. Both things are given. Only the thing, it's all about substitution. V is equal to pi r square h over 3. What is r? R is 3 square. Height is 4 over 3. Now after this, it's a simple calculation, up to you. That's 3 times 3. On the top, I can cancel one of the 3. It's actually 12 pi. And when you plug in your value of pi in the means when you have to just press the button, don't substitute it by 3.14, and your answer is 37.7, because it's about volume and the unit is centimeter, so it's going to be centimeter cubed. That's your answer. Let's move to question number 4. Now again, we have to find the volume of the cone, but I have been given r here, radius, right cone has a radius r, but I don't have height. That's a slant height. I don't have height, which means if I try to imagine my cone here, and that's the base, and then that's the height. So our radius means this part is 5, slant height is 13 feet, but I need to know how tall is that. Again, you have to apply the Pythagorean theorem. Square of the hypotenuse is the sum of square of its length. So I just assume it to be h, and I say h square plus 5 square is equal to 13 square. We can write it, and it's all about solving the expression. H square is 13 square minus 5 square, and h square is 144, and h is 12. So I got my height. The height is 12 here for feet. Now I have everything needed to find the volume. So V is equal to what? Pi r square h over 3, and that's going to be pi. R is 5 square, height is 12 over 3. After that, it's up to you how you want to solve it. I cross cancel. This part is 25 times 4, 80 pi, and that's going to be 25 times 4 is 100 pi, and when I just multiply it, my answer is going to be 314 times 2 feet cube to the nearest tenth. And you can remember that pi is how much? This calculation could be done. Pi is 3.14, roughly equal to, when you multiply by 100, the decimal moves to 2 places afterwards, so you needed next more digit. So that calculation is easier. Let's move to question number 5. Question number 5, it is a right cone has been given, the surface area is given, so it looks like we have to use the surface area formula here. Surface area is pi r square plus pi r L. So the surface area is given, that is S. Radius is given, that is our r. We have to find L. So when I look at the top expression, everything I have beside L, and that we are supposed to find. So it's just like solving an equation. Just plug it in. When I plug it in, S is 440, and then pi, r square is 7 square plus pi times 7 times L. I don't have anything, so it's just solving for L. So I just get rid of everything on right hand side. So I would have 440 minus 49 pi equal to 7 pi L. I subtracted both sides by 49 pi. Now I divide both sides by 7 pi, so L is going to be 440 minus 49 pi over 7 pi. Now it's all about using the calculator. When you use the calculator, please use it correctly. That's going to be 13.00 something, but round it to the nearest 10, 13.0 inches. Whenever it says round to the nearest tenth, no matter the next digit after zero, after decimal is 0, you're supposed to include that in there. Okay, let's move to question number 6. Now question number 6 is given. The right cone has a volume, so that's your V. Diameter, that's D. Find its height, we have to find H. So let's first write down the volume formula. Volume formula is what? Pi r square H over 3. Let's see. We have V. We don't have R. We are supposed to find H. But if the diameter D is given 12, then R is always the half of that. That's going to be 6 meters. So I could solve that problem. Only the thing I have to find height. So let's plug it in. 528 is equal to pi. R is 6 square. Height is not given, and that's 3. Now what it is, do the cross multiplication. Pi 36 pi H is 528 times 3. I got 36 by squaring 6. Now I have to find H. I divide both sides by 36. 528 times 3 over 36, and you just plug it in. It's a 36 pi. Now you just have to plug it in, and when you solve it, you're going to get to the nearest tenth 14.0 and 14.0. It is in meters. Sorry, it's not in inches, it's in meter. All right, that's your final answer. Let's move to question number 7. Cone A and B are similar. The radius of cone A is this. Similar means they will have a scale factor then. The radius of cone A is given. Radius of cone B is given. Volume of cone A is given. We have to find volume of cone B. It means if they're similar, I told you when you take the ratio of the volume, it's always the k cube. We have learned this in the previous section for cylinder. So basically, let me just use the, first we have to find scale factor. Scale factor, that is k, and that's what? Just take the ratio of two corresponding sides. So R1 over R2, RA over RB. Cone A's radius is 4 and B is 10. So that's 2 over 5 in a reduced form. And we know that when we take the ratio of the volumes, VA over VB, so the scale factor has to be in the same way. If you're writing VA over VB, so scale factor should be calculated by taking measurements from A on top, measurements on B on bottom. So that's k cubed. And we need to simply plug it in from here. We are going to get VA, this is VA, and VB is not given. So I'll just plug it in here. So VA is 134 over VB, it's 2 over 5 whole cubed. Again you solve it, cross multiply, so you get VB is what? You get 5 times 5 times 134 over 2 times 2. So you can check it by doing the cross multiplication, and VB is equal to 2093.8 centimeter cubed. That's the volume of cone B. Alright, we have the very last problem. We have to find the volume of the composite solid. As I told you in previous section, composite solid is just, you can just add the volumes of different solids together. So when I look at it carefully, I see this is a cone and this is a cylinder. Only I have to find the individual volumes and add it. So volume of composite figure is equal to volume of cone plus volume of cylinder. So just add it. Volume of cone is what? Pi r square h over 3, and here pi r square h, but the r and h could be different, so you just do it carefully. For cone, pi r is what? This is the r, 2 square, height is 4, here 4 over 3 plus, and for cylinder, what is the r? R is again the same, this is the same, this is also 2, the same thing, no matter you're taking it from top or bottom. 2 square, and height, now the difference is between the height. In case of cone, height was 4, in case of cylinder, the height is 5, so that's 5. So keep in mind, only this is the difference. And when you solve it, you can see here you're getting this. When you solve this expression, this is 16 pi over 3 plus, and here 2 times 2 is 4, 5, 20 pi, and when you plug it in and roughly find your answer to the nearest 10, 79.6 inches cube. That's your answer. I hope you get it. Please let me know if you don't get it, and thank you for watching. Stay safe.